necessities in life. First, air, second, water, and third, food. If there was only air and water but no food, then all the living species on Earth might survive a few days, but we won't have the energy to do anything. This not only applies for us human beings, but also for the plants or animals. We all depend on each other for survival, for food. Plants depend on animals to fertilize the soil so that they can grow more plants. Animals depend on plants for their food, and we depend on animals and plants for our food. This is called a food chain. Like this example right here. The sun is giving light to the plant. The plant is the food for the caterpillar. The caterpillar is the food for the snake. And if when they die, decomposers decompose and break down all the nutrients to fertilize the soil. So from this example, we can understand that a food chain shows us that which organism eats another organism in the environment. The producers, which are plants, make the food. Smaller animals, the primary consumers, eat the plants. As bigger animals eat the smaller animals, and those are called the secondary consumers. And the larger animals like a lion or an eagle, they eat the bigger animals, and those are called the tertiary consumers. But this not only applies for land but also for water. That is called an aquatic food chain. The phytoplankton, which is like a small bacteria, is eaten by the zooplankton. The zooplankton is eaten by the fish, and the fishes are eaten by the sharks and whales. Fun fact, phytoplankton comes from two Greek words. Phyton, which means a plant, and planktos, which means plankton and drifter. But since there are a lot of food chains in the environment, they are somehow interconnected, and that interconnection is called a food web. What is a food web? A food web is several interconnected food chains, and those form the food web. An example here is like there's a nut. The nut is eaten by the squirrel. The squirrel can also be eaten by a lion and also a raven. The raven can be eaten by a snake or a lion, and lion sometimes can be eaten by an eagle. And then the decomposers do their work. Some examples of decomposers are fungi, bacteria, and worms. But we all must remember this. We should manage the food web since they are easily unbalanced, especially if one organism disappears or dies from the food web. The main reason for this is us humans. Sometimes the animals have lack of resources, like lack of trees, and they don't have anything to eat. Sometimes the pollution can affect them, diseases can come, and overpredating can happen. As we've all heard, there are many endangered species like tigers and pangolins and much more. But sometimes even I used to get confused. What's the difference between a food chain and a food web? I mean, They are kind of similar, but they are similar, not same. A food chain explains who eats whom in the environment, but a food web is all of the food chains in the ecosystem. And the fact for the day is, did you know squirrels lose 70 to 80% of their nuts? Yes, you heard me right, 70 to 80%. How? Because they dig in the soil and hide them and cover it with some rocks or sticks. But then they soon forget. Did I dig my nut here or did I dig it here? They forget where to dig it. So those nuts turn into a plant which helps a lot in forestation. Thank you.